Lonely Monk Productions. I don't know if y'all have heard Hurt Starting Over by the Describers yet, but yo,
that's my Jawn! Hey yo, displace the guilt.
What's good, friends and family, neighbors near and far? Welcome to an all-new episode of the Yo, That's My Jawn podcast. The podcast, website, brand, movement, way of life dedicated to the embrace and championing of your passions. I am your host, Nate Runkle, a.k.a. It's Me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's Nate, a.k.a. Noah Snyder John, a.k.a. a goodness gracious Nate Balls of Fire, rest in peace killer, a.k.a. Nate 3.0, back at it again with yet another episode of the podcast. As always, I hope this podcast finds you all in good health and in good spirits. On today's episode, Tim Hildebrand and Brittany Luna from the band Catbite join me to talk about ska music, their band, and the soundtrack to Disney's Tarzan. Oh boy, do we talk about the soundtrack to Disney's Tarzan. And that's coming up in a minute. But first, folks, what is up with the what's up? How we living, gang? Happy Halloween. I hope you ghouls and ghosts have had yourself or are having yourselves a spooktacular good time this All Hallows Eve, depending on when you are listening to this. I myself haunted it up Saturday night at McAllister's Brewing in North Wales on the ones and twos DJing their trick-or-treat festivities. And then on Sunday, it was the final patio show of the 2022 Tex-Mex Patio Series, featuring yours truly and my good buddy Scott Miller closing things out. Fantastic good time as always. And that performance is still up on the Yo, That's My Jawn Facebook page if you want to check it out. And if you saw this weekend or you checked out the socials, you will know that your boy was dripped head to toe dressed as Weird Al Yankovic. Man, Weird Al was a god to me growing up and was an enormous influence early on in the music I wanted to make. You know, I got my start writing parody songs long before I ever knew how to play any instrument whatsoever. I feel like it was that foundation that taught me song structure. So it was great to dress up like him and play some songs both in my DJ set and live on the patio to show my respects. So you can check that out on the Facebook page. And if you aren't already, follow the socials at Yo, That's My Jawn. Jump on the mailing list. Don't miss out on any of the fun. But the big news in town is that the Philadelphia Phillies are in the World fucking Series, my guys. Yes, the Phils are coming home after splitting the first two games in Houston, and I am hype as fuck. This team has something special. I don't know how to explain it, but just like the '08 team or that Eagles team in '17 that took us to our first Super Bowl victory, the current iteration of the Phils feels like a capital T team. It's electrifying, and they're electrifying to watch. But the craziest thing to me in all of this, more so than the way that they got into the playoffs by the skin of their teeth and trampled not one, not two, but three teams that were all supposed to have sent them packing, the most insane thing of all to me is that somehow the team anthem is Dancing on My Fucking Own. And to my Boston friends who are about to start this, well, Nate, actually, okay, just cool it. Schwarbs brought it to us when we signed him, so sit all the way down with that. Yes, the song that most signifies the meteoric run that the Phils are on is the Tiesto remix of Callum Scott's 2018 cover of Robin's Dancing on My Own. And if you've been with us here on the Yo, That's My Jawn feed since the very beginning, you will know that not only am I an enormous stan for the original Robin version, you will also know that the very first piece that I ever wrote for the Yo, That's My Jawn website, and one of the reasons this whole endeavor exists, centers around that song. So today, in honor of the Phillies World Series run, I would like to share with you an excerpt from that article. This is the opening section and narrative retelling of my interpretation of the lyrics of the song. And if you dig this, please be sure to check out the full article entitled Robin, the Saddest Girl to Ever Hold a Martini, featured right now on the front page of the Yo, That's My Jawn website at www.yothat'smyjawn.com. Well, without further ado, here it is. Enjoy! You've suspected it for a while, since he stopped calling. Since the every late night text became the weekend late night text, became the sporadic late night text, became the non-existent late night text. You've suspected it for a while, yet you refuse to indulge the thoughts. You've suspected it, but now you know it's true. He's found someone new. Are they dating? Exclusive? Just friends? Have they kissed? Have they... You can't turn your brain off. Not ever since Stacy told you she saw them together at Roger's party. Roger's, where you met him. That pit in your stomach grows with every horrible thought ping-ponging around your head about the two of them together. Does he hold her like he held you? Make her feel every bit as special as he made you feel? Why? Why does she deserve that? Does she love him? Can she love him better than you can? Is that even possible? You have a pretty good idea where he's going to be tonight. It's Saturday. Everybody and their mother will be at Sanchez's. That place has been the go-to spot ever since DJ Steppo started his residency there last month. I bet she'll be with him, you tell yourself. Of course she will. If you were in her shoes, you would be. You were, not so long ago. You should go, to see it for yourself. Just one drink. One drink. Confirm all of your nightmares are a reality, and then you'll leave. Just one drink. The minute you walk through the door, a perfect storm of sadness, regret, and fear come cascading over you like a waterfall made up of the bad idea it was to come here tonight. And as much as you lied to yourself that maybe they won't be here, as the bouncer scans your ID, that false promise of a reprieve is immediately destroyed by the sight of the two of them at the bar. He notices you and smiles. And you smile back as if to prove that you're cool with this. So cool with this. Cool with them. Cool with it all. Cool. Everything is cool. You're cool. The coolest. You notice that she's gotten up to go to the bathroom, and after a second or two, so as to not appear like you were waiting for your moment to strike, of course, you approach the bar and use the empty spot next to him to order your drink from the bartender. She's so pretty, you say, unable to swallow any of the bitterness and contempt overwhelming your core in this moment. You guys look really cute together. As those words leave your lips, you feel every ounce of dignity vacate your body, leaving behind a sad shell unable to navigate how to process this uncomfortable situation you've created for yourself. Thanks. Sorry I didn't text you back the other night. Work's been crazy, he says. What the entire fuck ever? Work. He's giving you the work excuse? Your heart wants to go full rage emoji, but you play it off. Silly face emoji. Why are you saying sorry, you goof? It's cool. As you try to continue to play it off, she returns. Hey, do you know Courtney? Courtney, this is Liv. Of course she's a Courtney. Courtney, with her mousy brunette hair and that shirt from Forever 21 that's so last season that it clearly came off the clearance rack. Courtney. Gag emoji. Hey, Court. Great to meet you. Well, I'm going to go get my drink and I'm going to get back out on the dance floor. I'll see you crazy kids around. You want to vomit. And you want to cry. You want to cry and vomit simultaneously, maybe even cry tears of vomit, but you will not give that man the satisfaction of seeing you hurt. So you drink your one drink, and another, and one more. And then some guy you used to work with buys you a shot, and of course you're going to drink that too, because you are a fun girl, and look what fun he's missing out on with his mousy brunette. And then you find yourself alone on the dance floor in a break between songs when you see it. Them. Kissing. And it feels like 1,000 paper cuts eviscerating your heart. And the only way you stop yourself from crying is by laughing uncontrollably. The beat picks back up, and you will not show one moment of weakness, so you start to dance. Slowly at first, but the more and more you think about the two of them kissing at the bar, the more and more you think about how you thought the two of you had something special, and then the more and more you begin to put your all into it. All of a sudden, it's you and the music, the bass drum working like a puppeteer, controlling your every move, spinning you in circles around and around. The rhythm is the only thing holding you together, every near tear transformed into a move of defiance, every scream you wish to cry out turned into brute confidence, and you find yourself in a near tribal trance, dancing away the pain, dancing on your own. We're going to take a short break, but when we return, my interview with Tim and Britt of Catbite. My guests today are 2/4 of the Philly ska outfit Catbite. Along with Ben Parry and Chris Pyers, they are among the acts like We Are the Union, Kill Lincoln, and Ska Tune Network that are a part of a neo-two-tone ska revival that is ushering in the fourth wave. Through lyrical precision, marvelous melodies, and skanking rhythms, my guests continue to craft infectious musical delights that will no doubt find residency in your head and soul. Their latest split 12-inch with Mike Park entitled Wavebreaker Number 2 features 2 new recordings from them, including a cover of the Neon Trees 2012 track Everybody Talks, which they have a phenomenal music video out for. And they will be headlining a show on November 11th at the First Unitarian Church in Philadelphia. Folks, it is my honor to welcome to the show Tim Hildebrand and Brittany Luna of the band Catbite. Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined today by Britt and Tim of the great band Catbite. Guys, thank you for joining me here today on Yo, That's My Jawn.
Woo!
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
So I can't remember exactly when I first heard you guys, but it was sometime around last year when you guys did when you guys opened for Low Cut Connie.
Okay.
And I in my phone, it's so funny because I just found it. I opened a tab to your Bandcamp page because I was like, I need to get these guys on this podcast. And now here we are. It's a fulfillment of wishes.
And we're here. It was like almost exactly a year ago.
Yeah.
Because that was what, like October 10th, 15th?
Something like that.
Yeah, like mid-October.
That's wild. That's wild. But so now here we are. Thank you guys for doing this. So let's just introduce yourselves to these cool cats and kittens and that listen to this and tell us a little bit about where you grew up.
Okay. Hi, I'm Britt, lead singer of Catbite. I am originally from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. What a place. Beaches. Strip malls, Cuban food.
I mean, that's
the Cuban food is great. I'm from Florida. I wasn't born there, but I grew up there. I ended up going to Orlando. I went to a state college there, studied music. Then I moved to Philly to finish my degree, and now I'm here.
Yeah. I'm Tim, play guitar and backup vocals in Catbite. I was born in Texas, but I don't remember a damn thing about it. Moved to Pennsylvania and floated around different parts of Pennsylvania. And then I moved to Philly when I was like 18 to go to school. And then I dropped out of school and bought a van and have been playing ska since.
That's incredible. It's incredible. I don't know how much the listeners know this or anybody knows this about me, but when I was a younger man, I was in a ska band that I created, and we never played any shows, and we wrote 2 or 3 songs, but we were called Captain Nish and the Piney All Stars, and so ska holds a special little place in my heart.
Hell yeah!
Wow.
When was that?
Well, I'm going to date myself, but that was like 96, 97, I think, something like that.
That's sick. Hell yeah.
So a few years ago, I guess, way back. When you were growing up, what was kind of playing around your house? What were your parents listening to? We'll start with Tim.
So my mom had 3 CDs, and we would go on crazy long road trips, and they would just be on on repeat. So 1, Il Divo. Italian acapella boy band. It's insane. It's good, but it might just be because it was just in my head nonstop for like we would literally go on vacations to northern Maine and like Minnesota, and she would be playing these same 3 CDs over and over and over again. Like, my life changed when I was like 15 and got an MP3 player with like I carried like 25 songs, which then was just like LimeWire, downloading whatever. But so Il Divo, and then she played the Tarzan soundtrack, which it's so damn good. We throw it on in the van all the time. Mm-hmm. It's such a good soundtrack. It's insane. And then she liked Bon Jovi a lot, and that was actually my first concert, the first and second concert. Right. Oh, wait, and then I also saw Elton John, but she didn't really play a lot of Elton John in the car, but she played a lot of Bon Jovi, Il Divo, and Tarzan soundtrack. So, and then my dad just didn't listen to music at all. He listened to like talk radio, except for this one song. He had like this one CD he got at one point. I don't know if he was trying to get us like, I think it was because we were making fun of him for not listening to music. And I just remember this one song, and it was really weird, and I can't remember it right now, but it was, my dad just didn't like music. But like then recently he just gave us like all these old albums. A bunch
of sick records.
Yeah, like literally every single
Beatles album.
Beatles and Beatles adjacent record in existence. Like we have a whole tub. I'm like, the fuck? Like why were you not listening to this and playing this like for us? Like I don't know if like
he's just a collector.
Yeah, I think
he likes to collect things, but I mean, I don't think he cared for listening to the records. He just wanted to collect them. Yeah, so long story short, my parents weren't like at all influences in my music.
That's wild. So, you know, I always like to suggest things to people. You guys could probably do a killer Tarzan cover. I don't know which track.
It's already been talked about.
It has been talked about, and most everyone else in the band shoots it down.
Yeah, but all right.
But Tim keeps bringing it up.
I'm not gonna let this one down. There's all right. So like, if you listen to the soundtrack, there's like 20 songs on the thing. About 10 of them are like instrumentals, and then like the one song is just like 4 different versions. It's like the
It's like the theme of the.
Yeah, it's movie. Like the one that was the one that was on the radio. But like, let fate decide to guide DC.
Yeah, that's like the
that one. It's gonna happen. Like at one point, I'm gonna be like, we're doing it, or else I'm deleting the Facebook account or something like that. Like
that's it. Threats.
Yeah,
Threats
I'm just gonna threaten the band. One day we're gonna do one. So
awesome. Britt, how about yourself? What was playing around the house when you were a kid?
Well, my dad was always like loudly playing like Spanish music or like Margaritaville, Jimmy Buffett, and just like very loudly. Like we were always getting like neighbors knocking on the door, because we normally lived in like apartment complexes, and we'd be like, your music's really too loud, and he would say okay, and then like turn it down just a little bit. Or, you know, it'd be like, what's that one? Besame, besame mucho. I
don't know, but I like it.
Shit like that all the time. And my mom, she listened to music. She really loves the Beatles.
Yeah.
Like, hardcore Beatles fan. And she would listen to Willie Nelson and like John Cougar Mellencamp. But I don't know, it was mostly my dad that was like the musical person in our lives. And then when I was younger and I could start listening to like music on my own, I went for like Eminem.
Some shady, bro.
Yeah, I remember when I was pretty young, I burned a CD, Eminent, like the Marshall Mathers LP or something. Like I burned the CD for my best friend Lauren, and her dad took it because he was like, "You can't be listening to this stuff.
It's inappropriate."
And it's inappropriate. And he hid the CD in the Bible. And somehow we found it. We were just like looking through things, and we found it in the Bible. It's hilarious.
That's great. That's great. I would love you guys to meet Eminem and tell him that story.
I'd be so sick.
I would love to. Eminem's
he's so cool. Yeah, we actually played it in Detroit about a year ago, and we missed the opening of his spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah.
So he had like the grand opening of
Mama's Meatballs or something.
Mom's Spaghetti.
Oh, Mom's
Spaghetti.
Yeah,
it's just called Mom's Spaghetti, and it's like a spaghetti and meatballs restaurant. And I guess they used to have like pop-ups around the city, but now they have like an actual brick and mortar building, and it was like right near the venue that we played at, but we missed it by like one day.
Oh no!
Or was it like the actual? Yeah, I think we missed it by a day.
Yeah.
But he was there, and like he was serving meatballs.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
That would have been so crazy.
Yeah.
We my band, one of my bands in college, we used to always open every set pretending that we were our college's only fill in the blank cover band, and we used to open with Lose Yourself as IUP's only Marshall Mathers cover band called Marshall Matters, and it was like but yeah, we know
I love that.
That's sick.
back in the day, Acura days. So what was kind of like the first music that you kind of found to be your own? Like, how did you kind of gravitate? What did you gravitate towards?
I mean, my dad, I mean, he was the musical person in our family, and like he had a band. He's from Peru. He had like his own band that was like mildly successful in Peru, and then he came to the States and he was like mildly successful in like the little like Spanish community in like LA area, I think. So he would have my brother and I like start writing our own songs when we were like really young, and you know we didn't really know what style we were doing. We would just like write about like I was like writing about like the Wish Upon a Star in the Sky. My brother wrote a song about My Toys Are My Friends, and he just like got us like into just the idea of writing our own songs. And then I think when I started kind of really getting into music myself, I think I gravitated towards like pop, probably pop, and then like I really got into like emo pop. Like what is Paramore? Punk.
Yeah, just like punk. Emo pop punk. Yeah, just like it. Yeah,
I really got into that like super hard, and that was probably like I like identified myself as like pop punk kid with like the swoopy hair, you know.
Oh yeah. So for me, the first thing I discovered was Linkin Park, and I latched on so fucking hard to Linkin Park. Like that's basically all I listened to from. I mean, minus like what was on MTV or VH1. Like I would actively just listen to Linkin Park from 5th grade until about 8th or 9th, maybe 8th grade, and then I just like kept seeing. And then at like 8th grade, saw this kid in my high school. It was a very conservative area high school, and like not many alternative punk type people at all. And there's this one punk kid, and he kept wearing this Anti-Flag shirt, and I didn't know what it was at all. And like one time I finally asked him, and he told me it was a band. And this was like right around the era of LimeWire. And so I like instantly just like downloaded that shit. And so I went from Linkin Park only, and then it was like finally discovered like punk rock and like Anti-Flag, and then just like went down the wormhole of like the whole kind of all the like Warped Tour punk bands and the Fat Wreck bands, and eventually the Hellcat bands, which is that like I discovered Rancid by accident because I was looking up some other screamo band, and then accidentally downloaded Rancid, and then accidentally bought a Rancid CD, and then I was like, "Ooh, this is the best thing ever!" And then that was where ska just came in.
That's where it hit.
That's running, yeah.
That's wild that your gateway was Anti-Flag, and aren't you guys opening for them like next week or something?
So we literally just played 2 shows with them this past weekend, and it was so surreal. Like it was also that was the first punk show I ever went to on my own that wasn't Elton John or Bon Jovi with my mom. The first show I went to was Anti-Flag at the Chameleon Club in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And then to have them ask our band to open for them for 3 shows this year is just insane.
Pretty wild.
And yeah, so we did DC on Friday, and then their hometown of Pittsburgh this past Saturday, and then a week and a half from now we'll be playing Sayreville, New Jersey with them again. And like the most insane part was like the first show Friday in DC. We're like playing our set, and then like one song in, I just like kind of look over side stage, and all 4 of them are just standing there watching us, like super into us. And I'm like, this is like, my mind like exploded like a bunch, and then came back and played the set. But yeah, that was so cool. It's just insane to think about that.
That's killer. That's absolutely killer. I can't imagine what that feeling must be like. Like,
they're all very, very nice people.
Very
too.
nice. Such a supportive band. And like one of the coolest things that they said, so a lot of bands, like if you're opening for a bigger band, especially on a bigger stage, they'll set up their shit, and then you have to set up your equipment in front of it, because it makes more sense logistically, because then you just strike your stuff, and their drums are already ready to go. And so they had their drums set up when we got to DC. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll just have to set up in front, and we'll have not much room. We're used to that. And then they just started taking their drums away. I'm like, oh shit, you guys are striking your drums. I was not expecting that at all. And then I forget who, it was either Chris too or one of their crew members was just like, nah, dude, this is your stage too. And I was like, man, that's like so fucking cool. Like, you don't have to do that at all. There's so like 99% of larger bands are not going to do that. And this is like a band that's been going strong, a major big band. Like, they're still a punk band, but like there's a major band. And like for them to do that, to give us the full stage so we can have our stage. And they're like, yo, this is your stage too. You're not just opening for us. This is your stage. That was like super freaking cool.
Yeah, that's respect right there. I can dig that. I can dig that. So, when did you first start playing music?
I mean, I've been singing since I was a little kid. Like, I would sing with my dad. He would perform in like restaurants, or like he would like DJ at the Ramada Inn like pool. And I would just like go up and sing there. So I've been singing since I was really like little. But then I ended up going to school in Orlando. I went to like a community college there and started studying music. And I started gigging with this like funk soul band. This guy, Evan Taylor Jones, who just like, it was like his music, and he just had like a full, it was like 8 or 9 of us in the band. It was pretty sick.
It was a really good band.
He had really, really awesome music. He's still doing stuff, but not in a different aspect, I think, of music. But anyways, so I started gigging a lot with them, and then I started studying jazz, and I really wanted to like continue that, and ended up going to Philly to study jazz voice. And then I gigged like a little bit in Philly in jazz, like doing some gigs in the city. But I've always wanted to like start a band and like be like the front of a band. And it just so happened Tim was looking to be in another band.
Yeah. So for me, I started playing drums or like percussion in school band when I was in 5th grade. Yeah, 5th grade. But like my mom, she would never let me get lessons. She like made me do band, but wouldn't pay for me to have lessons. So I kind of just like figured it out as I went along until like about 9th grade was my last year. And it got to the point where I'm like, I can't keep up, because like everyone's like, having private lessons and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just feeling it, and then, so like I just did choir after that, just because it was a really easy class. And, but that's where I like really got close with my high school best friend, who was the singer of the ska band in my high school, and the only band in our high school. And they're called the Snails, and they were dope. And like we became best friends, and I was like their manager basically, because I couldn't really play anything, but I wanted to be like surrounded, because it was like I said before, there was like no alternative punk kids at all. So like these were my people, and so they were a ska punk band, and I'm like, I just want to be everything want to be like in the band, but I can't really be in the band. So I'm going to be everything I can. So I was like, driving them around, printing shirts for them in my, like taking a class on screen printing just so I could make shirts for them and sell them at the gigs and shit. And basically being their manager. And then eventually I got grounded for about 3 months. And so I got grounded for my mom because she found out that I had used to smoke weed. I like had quit smoking weed, but she found out that I used to, and she grounded me until I turned 18. So the singer and guitar player of that band, The Snails, he gave me like a shitty ass guitar and just wrote down all the chords to all of their songs. And so I taught myself how to play guitar basically in about 3 months of being grounded, and then came out of being grounded and joined that band as like the rhythm guitar player. So yeah, that was when I was 18. Basically I learned guitar when I was 18, and I was in that band for about 9 years before quitting. And a couple months later started this band, Catbite.
That's dope. See, it's like, grounding, good things come from grounding.
It fucking sucked, but yeah, like looking back on like, it was like so whack because, so I got grounded until I turned 18. And like, so I joined choir because we get to go on these crazy like field trips. And that year, the field trip was to go on a cruise to the Bahamas. And the day that the cruise left was the day before my 18th birthday. No. And I paid for it with all my own money and shit. But because I was still grounded, I wasn't allowed to go on the cruise. So like I find like everyone leaves March 27th, 2009. And then the next day, March 28th, I'm like, sick, I'm finally free. And then all my friends are on a fucking cruise that I paid for that I wasn't even didn't even get to go on. Yeah, so
bogus. It's bogus. But you got guitar out of it.
Yeah, I got guitar out of it, and yeah, there's no way I would have actually like had the time and energy to learn guitar at 18 if I wasn't grounded for having previously smoked weed.
Yeah, sure. So within 3 months' time, you're playing guitar, and then you're joining the band. How long before you start like writing your own songs on guitar?
Many years, actually.
Yeah.
So like when I was in the Snails, I was like the rhythm guitar player. Like my friend Todd, he was the songwriter. Like he wrote pretty much everything, would tell me what to play. I had like, that just didn't seem like a thing I could do, was like write music. I never even like thought about doing it. I was just like, I like being in a band. This band's very good. He's a good songwriter. Tell me what to do, I'll do it. I like performing. And never really kind of thought I'd be able to write songs. And then like maybe like fast forward 6 years of doing that shit, I kind of I don't know, I started like expanding my musical taste and started listening to other stuff that like seemed a lot more accessible, I guess, because like I was pretty much exclusively like playing and listening to ska, like trad ska and like two-tone stuff, because we started like as a ska punk band and kind of formed into like a trad ska rock steady band and shit. So it just didn't seem like something I could write. I got really into bands that were like bands like Joyce Manor, where it's like super simple, and like I'm like, I can write stuff like this. And I started doing like demos on my computer and like with like just my friends and stuff, and I would just save them on my computer under the name Catbite. And like I just like needed a name for the artist on my iTunes, and that for some reason I just really wanted to start a band. I don't know, just the name Catbite came to me one day, and I was like, this is cool. And just like that was just like in my folders of like unfinished demos and like my first bits of writing songs called Catbite. And I just did that for years and years and years as I gained more confidence. And then about like 6 years ago, I guess at this point, so like a couple years after that, I actually started my first band. It was like a punk rock band, and I wanted to call it Catbite, but the band members didn't want to do that. So that was like the first time I actually started writing complete songs, and which gave me like all this self-confidence that like I didn't realize I had. And then once I quit the Snails, then I kind of brought that self-confidence to Britt, and we're like, yo, let's do this. Let's do a ska band. Because the Snails had kind of abandoned ska at this point. And like, me and Britt really dug ska like a lot and really wanted to do it. Like, start a band together because she had graduated school and was like, we're like, let's do this.
Yeah. How did you two meet?
So when I moved to Philly, I really needed a job, and so I went into Center City and was just like handing out my resume all over the place, and I ended up in an Insomnia Cookies in somewhere in Center City, and the manager of the one on Penn University, on UPenn's University, was in there, and he was like, "Hey, I need a shift leader. Like, I'll hire you on the spot." And so I was like, "Okay, great. I really needed a job." So he hired me there, and when I got there, it was like the manager and like a couple other people were always like, "Oh, wait till you meet Tim. Tim's really cool. Tim this, Tim that." And I was like, "Who the fuck is Tim?" Like,
because I was out on tour at the time.
Yeah, because he was on tour, and all these people are like telling me about some like kid named Tim. And then I actually thought there's this one guy, just like another white guy that came in to work, and I was like, "Oh, you must be Tim," and he was not.
I'm Tim.
Yeah. So, but then eventually I met him, and they were right.
Yeah. And we're like, "Damn, you hot, cuz." And then,
no, it's not how it went, because Tim had a girlfriend of like 5 years at the time.
Yeah.
So we were just friends.
Yeah. And then eventually, like, you quit, and then I broke up with my girlfriend, and then like, look, yo, what's up? And then we started hanging out, and then we became lovers. And then here we are. And now we're married, and yeah.
Yeah, it's so dope. It's so dope. What was when you guys were kind of like ska was the target, right? Were you always kind of going for the same sound, or was there any thought of doing like a like a specific third wave or just in general? Was it just all the above?
Do you want to answer?
Yeah, sure. Because like I guess like when we first like were like, let's do this, it started with me and Britt doing just like, she was on keys, I was on guitar, and then both of us did vocals, and we just did like kind of a Aggrolite style version of a Little Richard song, like and I had like a tambourine in my foot. I'm like, just kind of like I don't know, like I like we both like all the types of ska. And like I was in this trad band for like the longest time, and like we were basically, we sounded like the Slackers, or basically we're trying to replicate the sound of like the 60s from Jamaica. And like, I mean, I love that stuff so much, but like you can only I don't know, I just didn't really want to be exclusive to anything, and like just because I like so much type of music, and so does Britt. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, maybe it's just like,
and same with Ben and Chris too.
Well, yeah. I mean, eventually, like once we became a full band, everyone had that same thing. Like we all listened to so much shit, and like it just that's kind of always been the plan, is to just write songs and just however the fuck, like, because most of these songs kind of start out in kind of the same, like almost like a rock and roll song, and then we kind of just try them out in different styles and like add like ska elements or rocksteady elements or reggae elements or just whatever, like kind of it feels.
Sometimes like, yeah, whatever, like when like Tim and I will do like a skeleton demo type thing, and then like we'll all listen to, everyone will send it out to everybody, and then like when we come together and practice, like in a like practice,
yeah,
we'll all have time to listen to it, and like maybe one person got like a two-tone kind of feel, and like maybe not even the whole song, just like in this section of the song,
yeah,
and then like more like I don't know, like Stompers kind of feel over here.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. It's just like we like to have it kind of be like genre bending a little bit.
Yeah.
And like it definitely helps that like me, Ben and Chris, bass and drums, we have all played ska music together for many years before Catbite. So Ben, our bass player, he was in the Snails with me, and then the Snails were like the backing band for this other guy, another like trad ska band, and then our drummer couldn't do it, so Chris ended up being the drummer for it. So it was like the three of us have been playing like trad ska and for a very long time, and we've also just like we were, all three of us have been in King Django's band, who's like a notorious, Stubborn All Stars, and like very very big in the like the 90s like trad scene and stuff, and like we all kind of have gone through and like
Django boot camp,
and like we know, I guess, just like years and years of doing this shit, like we have played it all, and like we know our roots, and so we know how to do that shit, but we don't have to always do it. Like it's like we just like having all these things in our pocket, and then but like having all these things in our pocket that we know well, and then like it makes it easier to do these types of things, because it's like at the same time, like Chris, our drummer, he used to literally be in a hardcore band, and he's jazz trained, and like went to school for music therapy, and like also has played in a third wave ska band and a trad ska band, and it's like, so he has all that shit in his pocket, and he's just taking it. And I'm like, I have like trad ska, like third wave ska, and then like even my power pop punk band, and like all that stuff's just like sitting in my pocket, and we just kind of just take what we're good at and just apply it to these skeletons of songs, and then we just, I don't know, we have such good chemistry that it usually ends up pretty good.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, and it's super tight too, like, and perfectly infectious. I will rotate through your songs getting stuck in my head. Like endlessly, to the point where, and I'll be completely honest, I do a pretty awesome ukulele cover of Bad Influence.
Hey, so you gotta send us a video there.
Yeah,
I will.
Please do.
But
that's dope.
But yeah, it's so awesome. Like, and you, like I said, you guys live right now are just like firing on all cylinders. Like, you guys just sound so good and so spot on. But here's a large question for you that does not have an answer to it, but I'll just kind of pick your brain about why do people hate ska? Why is there such like a backlash? I will never understand it. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I feel like there's slightly less ska hate at this point, but I think people still consider it to be like corny from like, when it was super popular in the 90s and became like less politically charged music and more about like partying and, drinking beer and Hawaiian shirts. I feel like a lot of people, although ska is like resurfacing as something really cool, again, there's still a lot of people that know it as that and have maybe not tried to look further into just the surface level of that ska.
Yeah, I think when it all just kind of comes down to ignorance and kind of just like, what was that term? Sheep thing, like, when is that?
Cliche?
No, sheep thing, like
a sheep?
Like, it's just like ignorance of the genre is huge. It's like, people don't know what they're talking about when they say ska. Like, so many people do not know what they're talking about when they say ska. They say, ska is a whitewash, is like white boy reggae. And
wait,
it's like,
okay, here's a perfect example. When I went to the ear, nose, and throat doctor, I was talking to the like doctor's assistant, and she was like very interested. I was like, well, I'm a singer, I'm in a band, blah blah blah. and she's like, oh, what kind of band? What's the kind of music? And I'm like, ska. And she's like, what is that? So I'm like trying to explain it to her. And then first thing she says, she goes, so like reggaeton?
Yeah.
And I was like, not quite. But like people just like, some people just really have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, no idea.
Like I guarantee that every person that says ska sucks has no idea that this genre has been around since the 60s.
Right.
Since like the late 50s on it, like, you know, with
100%.
Boogie Woogie and stuff like that. Like it's people know ska from MTV for a couple of years in the 90s, and or like they don't even know about that, but they know of the reputation that it caused and gave us. And it's just like it's just like, yeah, it's just pure ignorance. And but like Britt was saying, I think a lot of that is changing. I think it also just has a lot to do with just the like political climate and stuff, and like where we're at as a world and country. I mean, right? I mean, it's always like, if you think about it internationally, like ska is the biggest genre in Central America and Mexico and fucking Japan. Like Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra was on the Olympics last year. So it's more of a like an American thing, probably like American and like Western Europe thing, that kind of think of it as that, because it's just a different political climate. Like we just like it was popular in the 90s, and then there's kind of the Bush thing, and like the tone of politics changed, and no one wanted goofy music, and that's what like everyone associated ska to. And it's like, I do not want to associate that. I want early 2000s emo. Which I mean, we fucked with that. I love that shit, but like, and that's just kind of always how it's been. There's been these trends, and then it's just it's
the Gen Zs.
So yeah, now you think about it as like right now, it's kind of we're like in this kind of almost Renaissance-ish, but not at this. It's like a dark Renaissance era. I don't even know how to describe it right now. But it's like people are searching for that type of music again, especially younger people, Gen Zers and stuff. And they're like, that era, like, they don't even know that ska was taboo. And also like,
so they're coming into it fresh. Yeah.
And with like being like, with the resources available, they're like realizing that ska is not just like like this little niche genre that started in the 90s and died out. It's like,
the Gen Zs like to do research, I think.
They sure do.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like it's like we would not be where we are right now without like all the young people that are listening to us, which is why it's like such a huge thing for Catbite to play all ages shows, because that was like during the pandemic, we did a lot of interviews with younger people who are kind of, discovering us and discovering the genre. And like a lot of people like had school projects to do to, interview a band or whatever, music journalist type people. And the thing that kept coming up is like, all ages shows, like, and that was never on our radar, because we kind of like playing in bands for so long, you get under the thing, you play at your local bar, you get some of the bar cut. That's just like how it goes. And there's not a lot of all ages clubs.
And no one ever questioned it.
Yeah. And then like ever since coming out of that, like if we have a say in it, it is 100% has to be all ages, which it sucks. Like we literally had to not do a California tour because we were having trouble doing all ages every show.
That's wild.
And it's like, but that's where we are as a band, because it's younger generations. Like the young people really like us, and we really like them because they have fun, and like they've really lifted us up as a band. Just kind of spreading the word and having fun.
Yeah, it's very important to us.
Yeah, it's dope. Like at the I just saw you guys at the Exponential Music Festival, and watching like little kids just fucking skanking is like the coolest thing in the world to me. Like, I don't know why.
It's so cool. It's so cool. And like kids, they don't have anxiety yet, so they're down to just fucking.
That's it.
Like you play at 21 Up show. Like we've done maybe three 21 Up shows since like we've been playing shows again post COVID. And the energy is just like, it's night and day. Like, you know, we and also like the merch we're selling half as much merch at like a 21 Up show, where half of as many people look like they're into it. It's just a completely different energy. And yeah, it's
not bad energy.
No, it's just like, you can just tell how refreshing it. Like, I mean, just think back to the first concert you went to. Like me personally, when I went to see Anti-Flag at that first show that I went to, I remember every detail of that show so vividly. And like the next couple of shows I went to as a kid, like they're just like ingrained in my memory. And then like if I try and think about some of the punk shows that I've been to in the past 10 years, I've been more focused on, you know, getting beer, or like my leg hurts, or like, you know, shit like that. And it's like, whereas when you're a kid, like that's going to shape who you are as a human. Yeah. And like for us to just like be constantly having these kids and younger people come up to us and be like, this is my first ska show, or this is my first show, or like all that shit is like, I mean, we're helping them, and they're also like keeping us going, because that's the coolest shit in the world.
It is pretty cool. When we were in Florida, my best friend from high school came to our show in Orlando. She brought her oldest son, who's like 11 now, and he was like, "This is my first concert."
Oh, that's awesome.
He was wearing a little Catbite shirt.
Yeah, he had a Catbite shirt. I was like, "You're so sick!"
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I do want to, you just mentioned it, and I do want to shout this out. You guys do have absolutely awesome merch too.
Thank you.
Your shirt game is up to par.
Thank you. We have so many good friends that are artists. Mm-hmm. That's like something like going into this band, like that we never wanted to skimp out on, is like good artwork, and like paying our friends good money to like just investing in our friends, like helping spread their artwork. Mm-hmm. And but also like it makes a band, like if you have good artwork, people wear your shit.
Yeah. Like and we like to, like Tim was saying, like we do have so many like artist friends that we're like, we never want to, although we do stick with Nicole Salter, who does like our she did our logo and both our albums, and
yeah, she does all of our album artwork and logo.
We love her, and she's probably one of my favorite artists. But we have so many artist friends that we like to like reach out to them and be like, "Hey, we're looking for like a new design for a shirt. Like, let's collab. Let's do something."
Yeah,
that's dope. That's dope. You guys just recently dropped the Wavebreaker number 2 split, and it's got the incredible Everybody Talks cover on it. Have you guys heard from Neon Trees?
They followed us on Instagram, right?
Bass player did. So the bass player of Neon Trees apparently used to be in a ska band.
No way.
Turns out, yeah. I mean, Neon Trees isn't really active anymore.
Yeah, they are. I think
they are? No shit. Let me see if they follow us.
One of them definitely did.
The bass player definitely did.
Okay. Maybe they aren't very, I don't know. I haven't really looked up Neon Trees.
I'm going to do that thing where,
but I think they still are playing shows.
Yeah, lead bassist. Who says that? Brandon Neon Trees Campbell. That's his name. He started following us. I'm gonna do that thing where I unfollow and then follow. Maybe just
like to trigger it.
All right, they don't follow us, so let me follow them again.
It's so funny. I'm glad I'm not the only person who does that. Like I do that all the time. I
give them a little nudge, like
especially if I like. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, you know, I think we probably started following them, like, you know, when we were like not verified or like stuff like that. And like if you do it now that we're like Instagram verified, I love doing that shit. It's like,
they'll see like
we're important.
Little check mark, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, let me follow him back."
Yeah,
check mark. Okay.
It's so great. I'll do that all the time, especially if I like DM somebody. I'm like, maybe they don't see that DM because I'm a little crazy about that. But not only is the Everybody Talks song cover incredible, but the music video is absolutely stellar. Who came up with the concept for the video?
It was like a kind of a group collab, but for the most part, it's our friend Perry Shaw, who's just like a local legend around Philly for artwork and t-shirt collecting, and he's recently gotten to video directing, music video directing, and so he's insane. I love him. We have I have Timmy brain. That's what we call it. I come up with most of the stupid ideas for the band, and then the band luckily lets me run with it. But most of them. Yeah, most of them. Some of them, the Tarzan one, I still gotta. But so like Perry, he's got like the same crazy brain.
Yeah, he's constantly being like, oh,
yeah,
and then I just thought of this, and then like trailing off, and it's just like.
It was like, so we had like a group Zoom meeting a while ago, and it was just basically me and him just like coming up with ideas like on the spot, and just like, yeah, we just came up with this. Just like it was all based on this comment that we hear pretty frequently, but mostly, I mean, we hear it a lot. Just like people will be like, I don't like ska, but I like Catbite. And it's like, well, you do like ska because we're a ska band. So it's kind of just like based off of that thing that just keeps happening. That's kind of what started this whole thing, and now we have a shirt for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's such a cute video. It turned out really fun. It was really fun to shoot. Very like a lot of moving equipment around, because we were literally like, we did the whole shoot at our friend Kay's parents' house in Delco, and yeah, we basically had to set up and dismantle all of our gear in like every single room of the house and do like 2 or 3 different takes in every single room, and it was a long fucking day. It was sick. Yeah, it was sick. Good. I love doing video shoots.
That's awesome. Definitely worth it. Like it turned out absolutely incredible. So are you guys working on a follow-up album at this point, or?
Getting there. Yeah. We have some time off this winter. We're taking a couple months off of touring. And I think we're going to use that time to write some stuff. No. I mean, it's gonna happen. Obviously, we're not stopping now. We're just getting started. But yeah, we don't have any like definite plans in the book. But yeah, basically this winter, because we've been nonstop this whole year, like literally nonstop. So like we're gonna take like a couple months to like regroup. I'm getting a surgery, so it's like I'm recovering from that anyways too. So it's like kind of perfect, and write some songs, demo some songs, and then kind of come up with a game plan for 2023, because we're going to go harder next year.
It's awesome. I'm really excited to hear what comes next, because like, you know, I love the first album, but the growth from the first album to the second album, like there's an energy like that it has exploded. And like I said, seeing you guys live right now, like that energy is just not stopping. Like it's just growing and growing and growing. I love it. It's so dope.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any horns? Are we bringing any horns in the future?
I mean, not well. So like, I think
not for shows.
Yeah, not for.
Yeah.
No, like I think we've all kind of had this idea. Like we like having subtle. Like we all like horns, but like subtly, and it's always kind of been our thing to like have a little bit of horn sprinkled on the album, and then just be able to like kind of interpret our album differently when we perform it live. So like sometimes like we played in Atlanta a couple weeks ago, and Jeremy Hunter from aka Scotty Network, we had them come up with us, and they literally played horns for like 6-7 songs during the set, and just like, you know, it was like cool, like sick. We got fucking trombone and flugelhorn. Flugelhorn. Did I say frugalhorn?
You said
flugelhorn. So yeah, I mean, like, and also like whenever we're playing shows with our friends who have horn players, we'll be like, yo, can you come up during this song and rip a solo? And it's always just kind of, it creates a little bit of a, you know, just makes our shows different from one show to the other. You never know what you're going to get, because like, you know, we have solo sections, and it's like if our horn friend's there, they'll rip it. If they're not, I'll rip it. Or like, fuck it, maybe keyboard will rip it tonight.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's always like the recording is like our initial kind of brainchild of these songs. And then like the next year or two of shows is just our interpretation of that and letting it grow in different ways. And that's what I've always really loved about certain bands that are able to do that, where they, you know, because like, you know, your album is kind of like your masterpiece on paper, but then like you get to perform it and just interpret it in different ways. And like, depending on your situation, like, you know, maybe like this, we're doing this big headline show in Philly, and it's like, we got a bunch of homies, maybe, and we have time.
Maybe we'll
like,
have horns.
Maybe we'll have like,
maybe we'll do lipstick lines. Should we?
Yeah, maybe. Never. Yeah, that song's.
We've never done that live.
Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of how it's always been, and I think that's kind of how it's going to continue to be. And like, you never like me, you know, it just kind of gives us a lot of options, and it's like, you know, there's always the core of 4 of us, mostly 5 lately, because like it's so much doper when, you know, Britt's just singing and not playing keys. But yeah, it's more fun, and like we have so many friends, and just like that's always kind of been our thing, is just collabing with our friends and you know, just growing the scene. Because like if we're bringing someone on stage, then they're getting some attention, and that'll help grow whatever they're behind and stuff. And yeah.
The you just mentioned it, you know, bringing Kenny on shows to play keys. Do you enjoy being freed of the keyboard and to be able to stalk the stage?
Yeah, I mean, I do really enjoy playing the keys, but you know, my like main instrument is my voice, and like that's what I went to school for, and that's what I feel like I have like honed the most. You know, my abilities towards, and also like I love performing, and like just like the energy of performing is something really special for me. So plus Kenny rips shit on the keyboards. Yeah. So like I can't. How can I be like upset when like I have Kenny ripping over here and I can just be like running around like a crazy person? Yeah, it's like the best of both worlds.
It's night and day. Plus like it was weird as shit when we were 4-piece, because like I'd be in the front and center, and then Britt be over to the side of the keys, because we didn't want keys in the middle of the stage. Right. And then I'm like trying to go wild and shit on stage, but like I don't want to stage her, because like, you know, she's the lead vocalist. Like the tension needs to be on her, but I'm not trying to stand still. So I had to like always be very self-aware of like how much energy I'm projecting from stage, which is like
definitely a lot more freedom available with like Kenny playing keys. Yeah, if Esteban's playing keys.
Yeah, because now it's like me and Ben on either side of Britt, kind of in the back, going wild, and then Britt's doing her shit. Like we're all, and like Kenny's doing his shit, or Esteban's doing his shit, and then Chris is just drumming real good, and like it's like we found it. Like we found our stage energy and presence and stuff, and
that's really interesting how it affects you as well. Like I would have never even put that to mind, but it completely makes sense.
Yeah, I also overthink everything, so like all that shit's like in my brain. I'm like, I can't have too much fun, like, but I want to still look like I'm having fun. Like, so I was like, I can't even focus on what I'm doing on the guitar and shit.
Yeah. Real quick, I would be remiss without saying it. Shout out to Kenny for Beth Has Secrets, which is another song that I'm absolutely obsessed with. That track is so killer.
Kenny is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Well, at this time, do you guys want to go through the Jauntlet? These are my questions that I end every episode with. It starts with the one-hit wonders. We'll just bounce back and forth. We'll go Billy Joel or Elton John?
Elton John.
Billy Joel.
Oh, okay. A little disagreement.
I want to cover that song so fucking bad with
I'd love to do a Billy Joel cover.
Well, yeah, we can do it. I mean, I like Billy Joel, but like Elton John just rocks so much harder.
They both rock, okay?
All right. Next question.
So, you know, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, great cover, but Philadelphia Freedom would be a stellar.
I guess that makes sense because we live in Philadelphia.
Right. Next one, Debbie Harry or Joan Jett?
Debbie Harry.
Ooh.
I think Debbie Harry.
That's yeah, Debbie Harry.
Okay, yeah, respect.
It like by a hair. They're both like so fucking badass. Holy shit.
To me, that's the hardest one.
That's
that
a
I
really
came up
rough
with
one.
here.
Yeah.
Next one, Aretha Franklin or Tina Turner?
Tina Turner.
Yeah, Tina Turner.
I love it. I love it. Nirvana or Pearl Jam?
Oh, Nirvana. Pearl Jam's my least favorite fucking band in the world. I can't stand them.
I don't like them either.
That's I just recently talked to Greg Seltzer from the Philly Music Fest, and he was like, I don't know how to politely put this, but I'm just not into Pearl Jam. And I was like, you danced around that so well.
That was very polite the way you said it.
I fucking hate Pearl Jam. I'm sorry if you
That's
like
my
that,
sister's favorite band, and my sister voted for Trump. So.
Oh no! Oh, well, how does that happen?
We can't get started.
Yeah.
It's that's a whole thing. Yeah.
All right. Janis Joplin or Stevie Nicks?
Oh. I think Janis Joplin.
Stop.
Yeah, look at you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on it. You're on it. I love it. The Beatles or the Stones?
Beatles. I feel like you would say Stones.
Stones, if you asked me like 2 years ago, I've like very much lately grown way more of appreciation for the Beatles. I think I just like, I don't know what it is, like
that their songs are actually really fucking hard and not as simple.
I don't like hard songs. That's why I hate when Ben writes songs. But I
feel like people think of the Beatles as just like
yeah, I mean, no, I think they're both really good. I was just really into the Stones for a minute, like the I can't remember the name of the album now. That's how much I don't care anymore.
Damn.
I think I just lost respect for them because they're all fucking douchebags. And
well,
yeah,
it's what's the old you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
yeah. So yeah, Beatles.
Yeah, I love it. Last one of the one-hit wonders: Bohemian Rhapsody or Stairway to Heaven?
Bohemian Rhapsody by far. Oh my god.
I'm in it.
God, Queen rules.
They absolutely. My excuse me. My intro to guitar, like the reason the one thing I wanted to do when I learned how to play guitar was just learn the solo for "We Will Rock You." It's the only reason I wanted to play, because I was just like, oh, it'd be so cool, like when we're all like at a sports event, to just like pull out my guitar and just start shredding the solo like that. Like that's something that could happen.
Yeah,
one day.
Could happen.
Yeah, follow your dreams, kids. So the second half of this is the top 10 countdown. As I said in the email, you know this. You can use Jawn to be whatever you want it to be. But number one, what was your first, Jawn? What was the first thing you were obsessed with when you were younger?
Tarzan soundtrack.
NSYNC.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Isn't NSYNC on the Tarzan soundtrack?
They are.
Yeah, look at that.
On the
banging on the drums.
No, Trash in the Camp. There's Trash in the Camp with Rosie O'Donnell, and then there's Trash in the Camp with NSYNC. The NSYNC one, oh my god.
Yeah,
there's also a live version of Phil Collins on the Rosie O'Donnell show doing the Trash in the Camp with Rosie O'Donnell live. Look it up.
I'm in it. I'm in it. You know what? If there's one thing I learned, there is no faking your love for this Tarzan soundtrack. Like,
he's a little obsessed.
It's whatever.
I get it.
It was literally. You could listen. It's like torture, like just being like pushed. Like I don't know. I listened to it on and just over and over and over for like 10-hour car rides. So like you put it on and just my mouth just starts going and I know every single word. I'm like, why is this happening?
Mm-hmm.
Like we were driving in Florida the other day, like a couple weeks ago, and put it on and I just like, it was like I did a line of fucking speed. I was just like, boom, like, yeah.
It's awesome. It. I love it. Number two, what's your current Jawn? What are you into right now?
Oh, new Paramore. Paramore has a new song. This Is Why. Woo! It's so good. I'm obsessed. I think it's really different from what they normally sound like, and I really like it.
Shit. What am I into now?
Steve-O podcast.
Actually, yeah. The wild ride with Steve-O.
It's brilliant.
Did not expect
It's
him
really
to be
good.
such a great podcast host. Holy shit. We I think I like randomly it like popped up because like I've been listening to watching I'm a creep of the It's Always Sunny podcast, which is great. That really got me into podcasts, like extra into podcasts lately, and then those were just coming out too infrequently, and I'm like, oh, Steve-O has like 3,000 fucking podcasts. Let me listen to one. And that's like all I listen to at work. And it's
a really good, they're really good.
Yeah. And like, it's like, I've kind of, I relate to Steve-O a lot, in his like insane business, like always on, like needing to like constantly be busy. And like, cause like now he's sober, like 15 years sober at this point, and like, or 12 years sober or something. And like, he's just like one of those type of people that's just like constantly pushing himself and like coming up with new innovative things. And he talks about that a lot in the podcast. And I'm just like, it kind of just like inspires me because I'm like very much the same way. And like always like kind of thinking outside the box to like further the brand. And like, in this case, Catbite. And it's like, I was not expecting that from Steve-O.
Yeah, and he's such an incredible interviewer too. Like
exactly,
and it's like and not just in asking great questions and stuff like that, but like where topics had like I think the first one I listened to was he had Jay Muse on from Jay and Silent Bob, because I have like a passing quasi friendship with Kevin Smith. So I was like, It came up in my YouTube suggestions. So I was like, oh, let me check it out. And then it was like like I went down the rabbit hole. Then I was like, oh, Corey Feldman was on. Let me watch Corey Feldman. Or, Stephanie Tanner. I got to watch this,
He has like everyone from like like every corner of the earth, like, UFC fighters too. Poopies from the cast of Jackass. Like Paris Jackson, like Michael Jackson's daughter. It's like I started obviously like with the people I know, and then now I've kind of caught up on all this. Now I'm listening to people I have no idea who they are, but I'm just like just as interested. And that's like how it's like a really good podcast if they're able to pull you in and I have no idea who the fuck this guest is.
Definitely.
That's my Jawn.
Number 3, what was your first concert? Well, we know that we
Bon Jovi. Yeah. Well, actually, I think I thought about it some more, and I think it actually was Elton John. But I was like, I went to it. I have zero memory of it. I was like 4. And then the first one that I have a memory of was Bon Jovi at the Hershey Park Arena in Hershey, PA.
That's crazy. My first concert that I remember was David Bowie at Hershey Park.
No shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's way cooler.
Well,
mine was in sync.
Yours was in sync. Oh, it's incredible. I love it.
Yeah.
My one that I was at that I don't remember though was, I think I was 2, and my parents took me to the Philadelphia Zoo because they wanted to go see the Talking Heads, and the Talking Heads performed at the Philadelphia Zoo, and I don't remember it, but I guess I was there.
That's crazy.
That's so cool. That's really cool.
And I'm going to tell, I might have told this before, but a very funny NSYNC story. My dad took my sister and her best friend to see NSYNC, and because of the obvious crowd, the men's rooms, all of the men's rooms were being used by women because it was, just overloaded. Yeah. And my dad had to go to the bathroom, and he always loved telling the story. So he went into the men's room, and he just started going to the bathroom, and some woman was like, "Can't you see there's girls in here?" And he was like, "And clearly none of them can read a sign." And I was like, "Oh, Dad, you got jokes."
That's funny. I recently did that at a Buc. Were we at a Buc-ee's?
Yeah, Buc-ee's in Texas.
Because the line
was out the door to the women's.
Ridiculous, and the men's line had like
10 people in it.
Yeah, so and I was like, I'm not waiting in that line. And I got in the line, and all the guys are just like. No one said anything to me. They just all stared. They were just like, and then if I like caught them looking, they were like, "Oh."
Look, I understand the safety of gendered bathrooms, but it's just a weird concept. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a really
So
weird
dumb.
concept. I'm sorry, you can't pee in that toilet. No, like, what? That's weird.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Yeah, like some of them are using the urinals, and I'm like, all right, I'm just waiting.
It's either that or you're gonna just
Yeah.
fucking piss outside next to the gas pump. So
Yeah,
it's like,
it's
might as
like,
well go
what
to the
do you want
bathroom.
me to do?
Like, I gotta go. I'm gonna go. Like,
Yeah.
That's it.
That's like when you go to a go like pull out the one gas station within 100 miles, and you're like, hey, do you have a bathroom? And like, it's only for like people that work here. And we're like, all right. And then literally we just all just like go outside and just piss on the sidewalk.
Piss on the
It's
side.
like,
Yep. Yeah.
What are you gonna
You
do?
could have saved that. You could have saved that. Number 4, what was your last concert? What was the last big show you went to?
The last one that both of us went to that we didn't play, we saw the Lindas and our good friends Bacheye.
Yeah.
Bacheye is amazing fucking band. They're from DC. They're actually opening our 2 headline shows in Philly and Brooklyn. Amazing, just like rock and roll, cool shit. And they were on tour opening for the Lindas, which are like, if you're not, you know who they are. They're like
They're so cool.
bunch of fucking like 12 to 18-year-old.
I think 17.
She just turned 18.
Oh,
Yeah.
crazy.
And they rock so fucking. I was
Yeah,
like,
they're really, really cool.
we like, because it's been a while. Like, we really just don't go to shows a lot unless we're playing them because we're just constantly touring and we work all the time. And like, we made it a point to go see it just mostly because our friends were opening, and also just really wanted to see like the Lindas. Like, what they stand for is just so cool. Like, a bunch of young girls, like, you know, just fucking kicking ass and
writing songs about their cats.
yeah. And like, they just like watching them, I got so happy and so excited. It just like kind of gave me this little spark that was kind of fizzling out, and just like, I don't know, like the whole, you know, just playing shows, everything just kind of is getting a little routine. And just to see these 4 girls like having so much fun on stage and like doing it just out of pure fucking love for doing it. And like, I was just like, all right, this is the coolest thing ever. And
It was really fun. Yeah.
yeah, so that was a very good show.
Oh, awesome. I love it. Number 5, what was your favorite concert? What was the best show you ever went to?
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if it's my favorite, but it definitely has stuck out over the years. I saw this band called they're called the Local Natives, and they're like this indie, I don't know, they're like indie rock, experimental. I don't know. That's like not on par with like most of the shit I listen to, but I was really into them for a little bit, and I saw them at the Electric Factory like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, and their live show, it just was something that just like, it was crazy. Like, I wasn't even drinking or on drugs or nothing, and I was just like, it was like the most mesmerized I've ever been like at a show. Just like their harmonies and how tight they were, and then like the lighting effects that they had, and just like the whole show was just like so good.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's cool. Mine's like kind of similar in the aspect of like the like production of it, I guess. I think my favorite show, I mean, there's so many really, really awesome shows that I've seen, but I saw Sigur Rós when they came to Orlando, and I cried at that show.
Yeah.
And I don't like cry at shows normally, but it was so like overwhelming, and like just like, I mean, the music itself is so like huge and like fucking like encompassing and like really I don't know, like ethereal, you know, just like really, really cool. And then I went with my friend Melody. I went with Melody actually. And it was just really, really beautiful, and I cried, and it was a really good show.
That's awesome. I love
Yeah.
it. You know, I've cried. I cried at one concert, and it was the very first live show I went to after the pandemic. Like once
Yeah.
it started, I was so overwhelmed because I was just like, it had nothing to do with anything other than, oh my god,
Just loud.
I didn't know I was going to ever see a live show again. Like I really
Yeah.
didn't know what was going to happen, you know, and like
For sure.
it just got to me. Like I was just like, we did
Yeah.
it.
Just like an overwhelming feeling of
We
joy.
lived. Yeah, man. Number 6, who have you never seen live that you wish you would have? They can be living or dead.
The Clash.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
I have always wanted to see Michael Jackson.
Oh damn, yeah. Yeah, the Clash played a show in Philly in the 80s, opening, I believe, for The Who. And
Yeah.
I was just like, that's got to be like the most ferocious live show that ever existed. Like,
Probably, yeah.
and I think the Hooters maybe opened for them.
No way.
Yeah.
Yo,
Friends with the
the
Hooters
singer
now.
of the Hooters just started following us on Instagram and Twitter, and has been like, he messaged us, and
That's dope.
or he like retweeted something because I like dropped the like how the Hooters are our favorite Philly band, like ska band or whatever, and they like retweeted it, and I was like, no fucking way, like they know who we are. So Hooters Catbite collab.
That's dope. I love it,
That'd be
dude.
sick.
Make it happen. We had Andy King on the show, who was the bass player during the 80s run of the Hooters.
Okay.
And I met him because we're both disc golf players.
That shit.
Wow.
So you know, maybe I'll hit him up. I'll see if we can push some buttons there. But yes, I'll have to send this to you. But Michael Jackson, when I was a kid, that was my everything. I have pictures of me with the Beat It jacket and the zippers and.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Number 7, name a unappreciated Jawn, something you wish had more shine to it.
Olives.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, olives are fucking rad, and I think
Like you want them to be more shiny or just
Now, are you a green olive, a black olive,
All
those
olives.
purple kinds, all the above? Okay,
all
yeah.
olives.
all olives.
Yeah,
I just recently got into olives, those ones that I brought home to you. What
Yeah.
kind are those?
I don't know, green and really delicious.
But they're green, but they're not like regular green ones. They're like smaller and like very salty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I
keep
like
talking. I'm
olives.
gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to
I'll be
continue
so
this.
quick.
Yeah, take your
Okay.
time. I'm going to continue this olive thing real quick. I dig olives, but not on things.
Yeah, I
because
don't like them on things. At work we have like an olive dish, and these olives that I brought them home because Tim really likes olives. They're like very salty and like kind of cheesy tasting. And really, really, really good. But normally I don't like olives, especially if they're in my food.
I can dig that. I can dig
Yeah.
that. Do you have an unappreciated Jawn?
Trying to think. Sheets coffee.
Ah, a Sheets person. Okay. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. I feel like lots of people think Wawa's coffee is really good, but I think Sheets coffee is delicious.
Yeah, Wawa coffee completely went downhill, if you ask me.
I agree. I feel like all the like roasts are the same roast.
Yeah.
With, like, different labels. And
100%.
Sheets, you can taste the different roast. Try
Look,
a little bit.
They're gonna kick me out. They're gonna kick me out of the area, but I prefer a Sheets. I like a Sheets.
Yeah, me too.
When I went to college, that's all that was around was Sheets, and I wrote this song. It's a stupid song. It was in my ska punk time, but it was called "Dump Your Fucking Asshole Boyfriend," a sophisticated love song, and in it there's a line, "I never minded walking you to Sheets," and I wrote it when I was out of school, and then I came home and no one had a fucking clue what they were like. Were you talking about taking her to bed? And I'm like, no, Sheets is like never mind, forget about it. But yeah. So respect to Sheets.
Sheets rules.
Yeah. She's. Well, wait. Did you say about Get Go? Our new best friend, Gecko.
It's basically a Sheets, but in like
so much fucking better.
In the Midwest, I guess.
Well, yeah, it's like Pittsburgh based, I think. Because Sheets is like Altoona.
Yeah.
And
there's a blue dot.
Yeah, it's just a blue decal. There's like a little blue dot on our dog. It's fine.
Oh.
It's from a sticker from work. He goes to work with me on Tuesdays. But yeah, it's called Get Go, and it's like in Pittsburgh and surrounding areas through like Ohio and stuff. And
it's pretty good. I still think Sheets is better.
But
although they offer like Beyond stuff,
they have
for
Beyond,
like they have like a full plant-based menu, and Sheets doesn't have. I think
they
Sheets
used to,
and they took it off.
Yeah.
So that's one thing for like Chris, who's the vegan in our band. He can like actually get something from there. But their coffee, I got coffee from there. It was good, but it wasn't as good as Sheets.
All right, Sheets has better coffee. Coffee Sheets definitely has better than Wawa's trash.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Forget about it. Like, it's fucking garbage. Yeah. But yeah, Gecko, it was like literally right next to our hotel after our show in Pittsburgh. So we went there. We went to so many fucking places to try and get food. It was like a total disaster. We didn't eat all day on Saturday when we played our show in Pittsburgh. And then like finally we get to the hotel and then like, whoa, there's this gas station right next to the hotel. So maybe that's why it tastes so good, because we like did not eat all day. But I had this Impossible Burger, like customize it 100%, and like I don't know, it was like the best thing I've eaten in
That's
years.
pretty good.
It was so good.
I love it. Respect. Number 8, name a favorite album.
Oh my goodness.
A favorite or the favorite?
Yeah, sure. We'll go
All
the.
right.
No.
All right. I'm gonna go with
Or a
favorite.
favorite. Yeah, go for it.
So you got yours?
What are you going with?
Yeah.
That's so hard.
Yeah. All right. So should I go? All right, I got 2. So one, tell me A or B.
Let's do B.
All right, B. All right. So B is The Clash's Give 'Em Enough Rope.
Love it.
Yeah.
What was A? Because I was going to have to ask.
Elvis Costello's My Aim Is True.
Also an incredible album.
Yeah, those are like the 2 records that like really influenced my songwriting and guitar playing a lot. Like Mick Jones and Elvis are like Costello are like very much like my guitar influences. They're not really if I want to go with my heroes, like Sister Rosetta Tharpe, but like those 2 are like kind of the ones that like I've kind of modeled a lot of my guitar playing and like arranging off of those, like, those, and then just like Joe Strummer's lyrics and stuff. And it's kind of, define my musical taste.
Yeah, it makes sense. It tracks.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably go with it's so hard, but I think I would go with Brand New Eyes by Paramore.
It's a good album.
Yeah, it's good.
That's the one I like,
it's
right?
Like a front to back, every song, huh?
That's the one I like, right? That's the one you play the most. Which one's that?
Probably, I don't know. Brand New Eyes is the one with the butterfly on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it that one? Okay.
Or are you thinking of Riot? Riot is also a really good.
Well,
album.
Riot's
Brand New Eyes was like, I don't know. It was
not
like
the
at a
band.
very like formative time in my life, I think, and I just would like listen to that album nonstop and like.
Oh yeah, it's that one.
I don't know. I think I was just like at a very emotional time in my life listening to that album. So it's a good one.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Number 9, name an artist whose output you'll consume anything they release.
Paramore.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah. Shit. That's rough. That's a hard one.
Or Jeff Rosen, Stop.
Yeah, that's actually that's who it is for me. Jeff Rosenstock.
Jeff is the best.
Yeah, like everything from Bomb the Music Industry, the Arrogant Sons of Bitches, to just the Jeff Rosenstock band, or all of his random shit, like, or even like the music he does for Cartoon Network for Craig of the Creek. I like Jeff Rosenstock.
That's awesome. Did he was on the Linka Franca album? We had Linka Franca on, and they released an album, Bell Ringer, and Jeff's on a track, and it's phenomenal. Like, it's just so good.
Shit, I didn't know that. I'm gonna check that out.
I'll send you a link. That
cool,
album's incredible too. Yeah, I dig that. It's like dope hip hop. Like it's but like it's got an edge to it. I dig it.
Oh shit! Yeah, please send me that. I've not heard that, so yeah.
Awesome. Number 10. What is your favorite Jawn of all time? Can be anything you want it to be.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, good one.
Food route. Oh yeah. Okay.
Wait, the Get Go had these chocolate chip cookies.
Get Go gas station. Yeah.
Cookies. Ooh, I think about them ever since.
Yeah, we were eating them the whole way back to Philly. Okay, so I like. I think it's tacos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just there's so many different routes you can go with tacos. I want to say like pizza sometimes, but yeah, I mean food. It's definitely food is my favorite genre.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna go with tacos, and it just depending on how I'm feeling,
I love it. Have you ever been to any of the El Limones? There's one in Conshohocken. There's one here. I'm in Ambler. There's one in Ambler. They make killer tacos. All their food is all authentic Mexican food. Super good.
No, we've never been. We should.
What's it called?
El Limon.
El Limon.
Yeah, if you're ever in the Ambler area, you hit me up. We'll go get some tacos.
Let's do that. I'm down.
I'm in it. So you guys got the big show at First Unitarian Church on the 11th of November. How excited are you for that?
Oh, I'm so fucking excited and so nervous at the same time. It's like it's only our second ever headline show in Philly, and it's we went from Philomoka to like this gigantic step. Yeah, exactly what she said.
I would love to sell it out, but I also would just love to like sell it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean it's such a big step up, but it's also like such a legendary venue. It also has so much of a history with like Philadelphia ska, or just like the ska scene, which I completely missed. I moved to Philly in 2009, which is like exactly when all the ska scene just like fucking disappeared. And so I just like have all these stories from people telling me about like, yeah, we'd go to church, we'd see the Slackers, and we'd see like Mustard Plug, and like every ska band in the world that's what R5 used to do, is like they would do ska shows at the church, and then it died, and I like missed that. So it's like it just seems it's so fitting, and also what's our dog doing? Dog's being weird. It just seems like it's just like such a huge thing for us to like we're kind of like the band that's bringing ska back to Philadelphia, I feel like. And what better way to do it than at the church, all ages show, BYOB, cheap tickets, WXPN presents, R5 presents. It's literally like, it's just, and like an awesome lineup too. It's our friend Spot Guy, who I was talking about before, and our friends Take Today, who are from Jersey. They're just two great bands, and it's gonna be dope, and I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun opportunity for us to like kind of step up our live show even a little bit more, because it's like, our second ever Philly headline show, and like, like we're not just like trying to just do shows like show after show after show. Like we want to make,
especially in Philly, like try not to play Philly too much.
And like we've had a handful of like Philadelphia area shows, but they're not like, you know, our show. And like,
Right.
we want to make this very special. Literally like all day today, I was like brainstorming ideas for like cool, like stage, like props and stuff. Like I have this idea, like, you know, I don't know if you're aware, but like a lot of bigger bands these days, when you see a bunch of guitar cabs and shit on stage, they're all empty. It's all props, and like not a lot of people know that, but I think a lot of people are realizing that now, and like it's like kind of silly. And like I always use a tiny little amp, and Ben, our bass player, uses a little amp. I kind of want to just like build these massive, stupid, like weird shaped, like out of like cardboard, like guitar cabs and shit, and it's like have a wall of amps, but they're all like, they look stupid as shit. And like, I don't know, I got ideas. It won't look stupid, it'll be good. I'll put effort in.
It sounds epic. I love it. You just mentioned something there. WXPN, big supporters of you guys. How did that come about? Just that relationship.
Honestly, no idea. They picked up our song "Call Your Bluff" and started playing it a bunch. And
our drummer Chris is a bartender at World Cafe Live. I think he had given our CD, like once it came out, like once the album dropped, he gave the CD to somebody. Yeah. But nothing really, like no one really like latched on to us. I mean, recently, John
Batiste has always been a
John Batiste,
who does the morning the local stuff. And like I think he started playing "Call Your Bluff" when we released it as a single, and someone must have heard it. I mean, now like Kristen Curtis is like our biggest fan, which is so cute. I love her so much. So yeah, just like it just seems to like someone. John played it, and then like someone else, one of the other DJs, I know Robert Drake was onto us pretty early on. And then I guess just kept getting passed around until we ended up like, you know, on the fucking like, you know, the morning show with Kristen Curtis, and like all the other like the big name DJs started playing it. And it's like we're super thankful for them. Like they're great. All of them are great people, and it means a lot, you know.
Oh, it's amazing. I love it so much. I do have one final question, and my fiance, I asked her, she's not home, and we were talking on the phone, and I said, hey, you got any questions for Catbite? And she had one question, and she was like, no, don't ask it. And I was like, no, tell me what your question is. And it is this. Here we go. Britt, she wants to know who does your hair.
Okay. One of my really good friends, Gina, she works at Barnett Fair in Old City. She's the best. I've been going to her since
basically since they opened. Yeah. Well, before that, yeah.
I went to her salon that she worked at before in South Philly called Modify. This has to be like, I don't know, like six years ago, or something. I think. Yeah. She worked there, and then Barnett Fair was opening, and she was like, hey, I'm moving to this salon. Like, you totally don't have to follow me because it's an old city, and like it could be like, you know, tough to get there. I was like, girl, I'm gonna follow you to the ends of the earth. Yeah. My hair is looking rough right now because I haven't seen her in a bit, but yeah, Gina is the best.
Yeah, just Barnett Fair in general.
Everybody at Barnett Fair is so good and very talented and all really cool people. But
yeah, it's at Second and Race.
Second and
Arch.
It's like Third and Cherry.
Yeah, Third and Cherry in Old City, Philadelphia. Great spot. I've gotten my hair done there a lot too.
Shout out to Gina.
Yeah, but Gina's the homie.
Yeah.
That's what's up. She'll be so happy that I asked that question. Or she'll hate me for doing it. I don't know. One or the other. You know, it could be anything.
I mean, we're stoked. Like that's our thing, is having cool hair. Except for right now. We're both
we both have terrible
We've been
hair.
too busy touring. It's like we haven't had a second to fix our hair up, but we'll get it done.
That's awesome. So if anybody listening to this podcast would like to track you guys down, what's the best way to find you on the internets?
All the socials.
Yeah, we're extremely active on social media. Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Or go to catbite.net. It's our website, and literally anything you could want is there. it just takes you to the thing. It's like, here's our tour dates, here's our merch store, here is where to buy our albums.
It's got all the links at the bottom to the socials.
Yeah, but all the socials are the same. Catbite Band, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for doing this interview. Not just for doing this interview, but for creating dope music, feel good music, and the kind of stuff that just gets absolutely stuck in my head. Is there anything you'd like to leave these fine people with this evening?
Stay skanking.
Yeah, do that.
My thanks again to Tim and Britt for joining me on the show today. Catbite will be headlining the First Unitarian Church on Friday, November 11th. Tickets are still available. You will not want to miss this show. Their new split 12-inch with Mike Park, Wavebreaker number 2, is available now wherever you get your music from. Or you can buy honest-to-goodness physical media straight from the source by visiting Catbite's Bandcamp page at catbite.bandcamp.com. And you can follow them on the socials at Catbite Band on Instagram and Twitter. As always, links to all of these are in the show notes. If you have not already, please be sure to subscribe to the Yo, That's My Jawn podcast wherever you get your podcasts from. And gang, it's never too late to get yourself a super awesome Jawn Scout Merit Badge for citizenship of the world just by rating and reviewing us. Don't forget to visit www.yothat'smyjawn.com for articles, merchandise, and links to all of the previous episodes of this podcast. And while you are there, be sure to sign up for our mailing list to get all of the updates delivered straight to your inbox. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/YoThat'sMyJawn for updates and live streams. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Yo That's My Jawn, and search Yo That's My Jawn on YouTube to find the Yo That's My Jawn YouTube channel. Like and subscribe the heck out of that ish. We want to hear from you. Reach out, and touch some Jawn. Thanks yet again for lending me your ears, you guys. Blue skies. Until next time, everybody.
Hey yo, displace the guilt and embrace the pleasure. Your taste in music doesn't have to be.
Yo, That's My Jawn is a Lonely Monk production written and produced by yours truly, Nate Runkle. Theme song by Phil Tyler Music featuring Nate 3.0. Special thanks to Fox Run Brands, DX Ferris, Andrew Scott, Natalie Runkle, and the incredibly brilliant and wickedly stunning Katie Daubney. If you or anyone you know has any ideas they would like to share or any guests they would like to hear on the podcast, please feel free to reach out to us at yothat'smyjawn@gmail.com. Or you can leave an audio message for us and possibly hear yourself on a future episode by visiting anchor.fm/YTMJ/message. Until next time, be sure to displace the guilt and embrace the pleasure and shout to the world, yo, that's my Jawn.